That's a hard way to start the day. Whew. Good Lord. That was just my morning poop. Let's go running. Whew. I tell you what, it has been a day full of jobs. Had the day off work, but there's been no shortage of work being done today. Between meetings about the shop, down at the fire station, loads of washing, went to the bank, just got off the phone to my accountant. Yeah, it's been busy. I ran this morning, just an easy hour on the road, which felt pretty good. And yeah, just about to head out the door for an hour in the bush with my old mate Mitchie. Should be a good one. The weather is real nice. Whew. So it's Wednesday morning and yeah, long run is in store for the day today. The body's actually still feeling pretty good. Yeah, despite a pretty decent week last week and yeah, 40 Ks under the belt the past 2 days already. Things are good. Although I did roll my ankle in the bush yesterday afternoon with Mitch. Yeah. Look, I'll roll my ankle once a week, but there's a scale of how good or bad it is. And yeah, that was definitely towards the bad end. Yeah, I find that you can measure how bad your rolled ankle is by how loud your reaction is to rolling it in the moment. Yeah, and I gave a bit of a, which is, yeah, not good. I kept running and it's a little tender today. I'll try and be careful on it. But I think about 4 hours in the bush is the plan. So yeah, finish a cup of coffee, hit the trails and have a good time. That's the plan. That was quite the stimulus. I didn't really set out with much of a plan other than just to spend a good few hours in the bush, and it took a little longer than I was expecting, but look, ended up with 41 kilometers in 4 hours and 40 minutes or something, and like 1,800 meters of vert. And got to explore some new trails that I haven't explored before. I got lost once or twice and actually had to take a few work phone calls while I was in the bush as well. But, and actually, I think a worthy addition to this metric keeping statistical analysis of my runs is that I consumed 100 grams of carbohydrate per hour, which is good. That is more than I used to consume, absolutely, and I feel good. The guts feel good, so yeah, keeping tabs on that one I think will keep me honest and full. That was good. Good. You know, I was thinking just then in the shower how much I concern myself with the metrics of a run. I mean, I'm always putting them up here for my weeks and particular runs as well. The distance and the time and the elevation, and you can calculate the pace off that. And then if you look at heart rate as well, then you start to get a picture of whether fitness is improving. Look, at the end of the day, what we're doing, what I'm trying to achieve is good performance. And so these objective data points and metrics are somewhat necessary. But I think there's an extra metric in there that is perhaps even more important. And that's having fun. Look, today's run, I went exploring on some new trails. I got lost. I ended up in some people's backyard that I probably shouldn't have been in, bush bashed out of that, got dangerously close to an active mine site, avoided that, and then found my way back home. And look, I wasn't particularly pushing the pace today. I was out there for a long time and a good time, and I crushed that metric. I had such a nice day out today. I wasn't rushed. I wasn't particularly concerned with where I was going, and it feels good. I myself am so guilty of going down the spiral of concerning myself with things that really there's only marginal gains to be had at best. The amount of times I've wished I had access to a continuous lactate monitor to finally put to rest my burning desire to know the precise millimoles of lactate per kilogram that I'm producing at a particular heart rate. But I don't think it matters. At least nowhere near as much as enjoying yourself matters. With a view to going over to Europe and racing UTMB, I want to put down a good performance, something that I'm proud of. But I think what I'd be more disappointed with, more than a DNF and more than a substandard result against my expectations, is going over there and not enjoying myself. And look, I mean, running around the mountains on holidays, I'm going to be hard pressed not to have a good time. But I think having that at the forefront of what I'm trying to achieve might be helpful. I can get carried away pretty quickly with being too serious about running. And at the end of the day, there's plenty of other things in my life that actually are serious and are important, that what I do with my spare time, and that's running, it should be fun. And so, yeah, today I did that, and that was super fun. So I'm now going to enjoy this. I reckon about a 7 out of 10 enjoyment factor for this. I've been off the beers, and feels good to be back. So it's Saturday afternoon, and I've actually been sick the past couple of days, so I haven't been running, but it is birthday weekend in our household. So what do we get for you, Hads?
An electric skateboard.
Electric skateboard and scooties, because we figure that when you're 7 and 10 years old respectively, collarbones and ankles are overrated. So we just come down to the pump track, hanging out down here, having a blast. You having a blast?
Yeah.
We're having a blast. So it's Sunday afternoon, and I got smoked at work this morning, and then actually had to duck up to Sydney to get a new iPhone. Actually, I got rid of the iPhone 14 because it's massive, and downgraded back to the 13 mini. Anyway, but I'm now in Sydney, and I'm actually feeling a little bit better. I didn't run on Friday, felt a little bit better yesterday. Today I'm coping all right. So I'm actually going to duck into the Royal National Park, which is where I started my night run from 2 weeks ago, and run these trails in the daylight. Maybe an hour, see how I feel. Get things back on track. Hopefully I'm feeling good out there. Get to it. that was another fun one. That was an hour and a quarter in the bush on the trails that I first ever started trail running on. Like 15 years ago, I used to just jog for fitness, and a friend of mine took me in here and we'd run here semi-regularly. Well before I was called myself a runner or was doing any sort of training. But yeah, it's nice to be back. These are fun trails up here. And so I guess that rounds out a pretty fun week. Yeah. I don't know how many Ks I logged this week. I mean, I'm sure Strava could tell me, and I'm sure I'll check eventually. But carrying on from what I was rambling on about the other day, I'm not sure it matters so much. It was fun this week. Even though I got sick and lost a day's training, I had some really good runs. We had a fun birthday weekend and didn't end up in the emergency department, which is also a pretty good time. But yeah, I think if I was in that zone, which I have a tendency to get into, where I'm taking everything running a little bit too serious, then getting sick would have bummed me out. I would have been stressed about that, and then probably started running too early and pushed too hard, and try and catch back up to get back on schedule. But fingers crossed, I can ease back into things next week and start banking some solid weeks again. But yeah, it's been a good one. Fun. I'm having fun. I'm gonna get home, get some dinner into me. Thanks for watching.
So, I wanted to drop in here because I know that you often record your weekly running volume, and I thought that this week I might do it for you, just for accuracy's sake. So this week you have run 108 kilometers with about 3,500 meters of climbing, and it's taken you about 11 hours, which is solid. That's pretty cute. Somebody else in this household, namely myself, has run 124 kilometers with 4,300 meters of vert, and that's taken me just under 14 hours. So my maths is correct, which often it's not, but in this case I think it is. I have won, quite resoundingly, and I wanted that recorded and kept for all time. That's it. Thank you.